Hey field friends! So yesterday we started reading the class trip from Black Lagoon, and so we actually made it a two-part story. So we got all the way up to chapter 5 yesterday. So if you haven't read that part yet, go back to the video before this from the day before and watch that video first, because that talks about the beginning of this book. We're going to start right at chapter 5 today. So we'll catch up with our story, and to remind us, they were thinking about all the different types of things that might happen on this field trip. So he was talking about how he had heard that people had gone to volcanoes on field trips, that people had gone to the moon, so all sorts of crazy stuff. So we'll just have to see what their field trip is actually going to be. Chapter 5. This must be D-Day. The alarm goes off at 5:30 in the morning. I hate getting up early. The chickens aren't even up yet, and I shuffle into the bathroom. My eyes are hardly open. I squeeze out some toothpaste and brush my teeth. Boy, it sure tastes weird. I look at the tube and it says brown shoe polish. Yuck! My shirt feels very small. Then I discover that my head is in a sleeve. My pants feel odd too. I discover they are on backwards. At least I won't mess up with my shoes. Wrong again. I have the left one on my right foot and the right one's on my knee. This is not going to be a great day. Chapter 6. Off we go. I wonder what I should pack. Randy says that you have to be prepared for anything. He says that he's taking snowshoes, malaria pills, signal flares, a snake bite kit, and a lifeboat. I think I'll take my lucky rabbit's foot. Of course, it wasn't lucky for the rabbit. Oh well, I stumble downstairs for breakfast. I grab a box of cereal and pour some into a bowl. Then I pour in some milk. It all bubbles up. I look at the cereal box. It says dishwashing powder. I guess I'll skip breakfast. I open the front door and step outside. It's dark and full of coats. Wrong door. I try again and I really step outside. It is just as dark, but there are no coats. Even the early birds aren't up yet. I feel like an early worm and wiggle to the corner. I wait there with my brown teeth chattering. Out of the gloom came two lights. It's the school bus. Mr. Fenderbender opens the door and I get on. All the kids are there, sitting stiff and staring straight ahead. They all have brown teeth. Everyone's breath smells horrible. A green fog covers over the windows. I guess we won't be singing camp songs today. Move it! After 4 minor collisions, Mr. Fenderbender stops and tells us to get out. Things have to get better, don't they? Chapter 7. Into the wild blue yonder. We're at a small airfield. Mrs. Green is standing by the first passenger plane ever made. It says, built by the Wrong brothers on the side. As we climb aboard, she hands each of us a parachute. I guess we're not going to the museum. We strap them on and try to sit in our seats. I feel like a camel. Mr. Fenderbender puts on a pilot's cap with goggles and sits up front with Mrs. Green. They both try to figure out how to start the plane. Meanwhile, Eric, the class clown, pretends to be the flight attendant and gives the safety instructions. In case of the likely event of a water landing, your seat cushion can be used as a flotation unit. I look down. There's no seat cushion. This is definitely not first class. Doris asks what movie we'll be playing. We're showing a bunch of selected shorts. Eric answers. He smiles and then reaches into his backpack and pulls out his underwear. Gross, we yell. Gross, yuck. Oh my goodness. Mr. Fenderbender guns the engine. We're all pressed back into our seats. Happy landings, cackles Mrs. Green. This is a crazy school field trip, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Chapter 8, Flying High. Mr. Fenderbender flies like he drives. We do loop-de-loops, barrel rolls, and dives. Penny throws up. Good thing I didn't eat breakfast. After 8 hours of aerial acrobatics, a red light goes on. Mrs. Green lines us up in alphabetical order. She opens the door, checks our parachutes, and then pushes us out. Derek is first, but I'm second. We land all over, east, west, north, and south. There are kids twisted in every possible gymnastics position. Mrs. Green grades us on all of our landings. Freddie is the only one who gets an F. He landed on a lion's mouth. This sure is a silly book. We are all a little shorter as we line up and march off into the jungle. The lion burps. Freddie would have liked that. Chapter 9, Jungle Bungle. The jungle is having a bad hair day. It takes every blade in my Swiss Army knife to hack our way through. And you have to be very careful where you step. All the animals are party poopers, and all you have to do is look out for the dreaded hippopotamus. The heart beats down on us. It's like being in a furry oven. Halt! All of a sudden, Eric shouts out, "Knock, knock! Who's there?" we all ask. Eric beats his chest and yells, "Tarzan!" "Tarzan who?" we ask. "Tarzan Stripes Forever," he giggles. I guess that's a little jungle joke. A snake as long as a jumbo jet slides by. Hairy spiders as big as hamsters bounce on webs as large as trampolines. Ouch! Crunch! Penny sniffs a purple flower and it grabs the end of her nose. Mrs. Green tells us the name of the plant in Latin. She says we'll have a quiz in about an hour. Randy sees a sandbox and jumps in. Unfortunately, it's a quicksand box. He sinks up into his chin. It's not recess yet, scolds Mrs. Green as she pulls him out. Derek pets an orange zebra with black stripes. Mrs. Green tells him it's a tiger and that he doesn't have to raise his hand anymore if he has a question. Mosquitoes as big as Count Dracula buzz all around us. They think it's lunchtime and that we're the special of the day. I feel like we're in an all-you-can-eat restaurant and we're on the menu. Eric shouts, "Knock, knock! Who's there?" we all ask. "Safari," he says. We throw up our hands. "Safari who?" we ask. "Why do we have to walk safari?" He laughs. Chapter 10, Fast Food. Finally, we reach a river and cross it by stepping on crocodiles. One eats Doris's backpack and all. I guess that's the toll. It's sort of a potluck dinner. Without any luck, we'll be the dinner. I hope that a giraffe doesn't swallow me. The fall could be huge, or worse, I could be sucked up in an elephant's nose. Snot a nice way to go. Get it? I don't want to be a baboon's breakfast, a lion's lunch, a crocodile's dinner, or a snake's snack. I run and hold up a sign that says, "Please don't feed animals." I hope they can read. Please don't feed the animals. There's a sign. Chapter 11, In the Grand Sand. By noon, we come to a desert. The good news is there's no more jungle. The bad news is there's a lot of sand. We're very thirsty. Unfortunately, there are no public water fountains. The only good thing about a desert is that if you add another S, it would be a dessert. Kids are dropping like flies. I've never seen a fly drop, but I've seen fly droppings. Anyway, it's hot and it's lunchtime. I even miss the school cafeteria. I'm losing it. I ask if we can stop and eat. Not until the lunch bell rings, says Mrs. Green. I hear a lot of bells. Then I start seeing things. A pizza mutt wiggling in the heat waves, a swimming pool full of rubber ducks. I even see a school bus. Wait, it is a school bus. It drives up. On the front of it are printed the words, "Class Trip." Mr. Fenderbender opens the door and I get on. All the kids are sitting there, bright-eyed and excited. Mrs. Green says we're going to the zoo to see a lot of wild animals. Hey, that's baby stuff. They're all in cages. A zoo is pretty tame after you've seen the real thing. Maybe next time we'll blast off to a space station, climb Mount Everest, or water ski up the Amazon River. Now that would be a trip. Oh my goodness, so friends, it sounds like he was making up that whole story. And then at the very end, the real bus finally got there and took them to their class trip to the zoo. That was a silly story. Oh my goodness. All right, well, I hope you're staying safe and sound. I miss you so much. Have an awesome day.